Earth. Fire.
Salt. I find that newer players of fighting games are often the saltiest players per capita. To be fair, they have the most reason to be salty. They lose the most, and they usually don't know why they're losing. But if you've got more than 40 hours in any fighting game ever, you know why they're losing. Newer players tend to not do the most important thing in all of fighting games, and that's block.
No, you're not. You're using a cheat mode.
That's right, y'all. Today we're talking about blocking. Why don't new players block? I mean, we know why. They don't know how or why they should, but why? It's because blocking isn't fun. In fact, blocking sucks so much that games have adopted more interactive ways to play defense, like bursting, V-reversals, pushback with blocking, but they all accomplish the same thing, letting you stop playing defense sooner. Each of these gets you out quicker so you can go back to having fun. But let's define fun. Fun for me is hitting buttons. And every other gorilla degenerate onliner will agree. Button make combo, button good. In fact, that's a big reason why I choose to play on hitbox instead of a pad or stick. There's just more buttons. It's why I get more satisfaction from doing this Johnny combo on my hitbox than I do on my arcade stick. And it's why I favor motion inputs over simplified special inputs with a cooldown or other mechanic to keep them in check. Side note, if you're interested in the hardware I use, I'll be making a video about that in the future. But in fighting games, we know that you can't just be pressing buttons all the time because you'll lose. If your opponent strikes first, then you have to block. New players don't like blocking because it doesn't feel like they get to play the game. And if we're judging by the buttons metric, this is more fun than this. But why button good? Buttons feel good to press because you feel in control when you press one. And when it gives you some feedback, it makes it feel even better. This is instant feedback, and it is awesome. When you're given instant feedback, you want to keep getting it as much as you can. In the 1930s, B.F. Skinner conducted a now famous experiment where rats were placed in a box. They were given two choices: press a lever that delivered a positive response, or press a lever that gave a negative response in an electric shock. This experiment was repeated in the 1950s, only modified so that when the rats pressed the good lever, it delivered stimulation directly into the pleasure center of their brains. The result was rats pressing the lever up to 7,000 times per hour. And this can be seen in low-level fighting gameplay, particularly in the now infamous Flowchart Ken game plan, where the entire thing revolves around pressing the good lever, which in this case is that sweet, sweet Shoryuken. This game plan gives you both the instant feedback of pressing buttons and the positive response of you doing your special move. And the most important thing about the Flowchart Ken game plan is that it doesn't involve blocking, which is why so many newer and low-level players tend to play this way. But where's the negative stimulus in this example? You might say that getting punished for doing special moves all the time would be the negative example, and at higher levels you would be right. But at low levels, this game plan works, and it'll get you a lot of wins, which tends to only reinforce the previous positive stimuli and sends the player right back into the flowchart. But where does it end? Eventually, that player will hit someone that can deal with it, and one of two things will happen. They'll adapt their game and try and win a different way, or they'll just keep doing the same thing and keep losing. The reward for blocking should really speak for itself. Block this, and then you can do your combo, or as we discussed before, press more buttons. But I find that noobs in fighting games mirror the famous marshmallow test. In this test, a child is left in a room with a marshmallow for about 10 minutes with the promise of another marshmallow if they don't eat the first one in the time limit. Needless to say, about 70 of the kids ate the fucking marshmallow. The same goes for fighting games. Noobs, the children of fighting games, haven't learned impulse control to not be doing something even if not doing anything will get them reward in the long run. They want the short-term satisfaction of a small amount of damage or eating the marshmallow right away, instead of the bigger reward of winning the game in the long run, or 2 marshmallows. Okay, geez, I get the point, psychology, but why does this matter? Because while blocking isn't fun, it's important, and how and when you block makes you a better player. Good blocking takes you from noob to need, from regular Steve to tasty Steve. Blocking is one of the most important parts of having a conversation with your opponent in fighting games. Blocking lets them know that you're not a complete caveman. You can play someone across the globe, thousands of miles away, an ocean between you. You don't speak the same language, you don't have the same customs, but through the beauty of fighting games, you can have a conversation with a total stranger. It's too bad all they gotta say is, "Fuck you, I ain't blocking shit!" If you like the video, please help me sacrifice myself to the almighty YouTube algorithm by subscribing, giving the video a thumbs up, and hit the bell so you know when I've got some more shit to yell at your face. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but be on the lookout for the 100 subscriber special. I've got a fun video planned for it. Didn't think we were going to get there this fast, but here we are. So I'm looking forward to it, and that should come out in about a week or 2.